this oven, my family used to cook it for 3 days, the agave pineapple. What is the agave pineapple? Agave pineapple is how my family calls the center of the tequila plant.
Oh.
You know, the middle part.
Yeah.
So we got these two here to show to the people how looks the agave pineapple. So to get this part of the agave, my family has to wait about 5 years. And the question is, how they know when the agave is 5 years old? For the size? No. They wait for the quiote. What is the quiote? Quiote is how we call it, the plant. The one, no, it's not the plant. It's like a type of flower.
Oh.
The one the agave produce when it's mature. Where, in which part of the plant you can see the quiote? In the middle part, in the top. So normally the plant produces the quiote when it's about 5 years old. And the quiote is like the signal, the one the farmers use to know when the agave is ready to harvest.
Cool.
How they harvest? With this tool, the one we call it lajima. So let me show you. This part we sharpen very well, and then we use to cut all the leaves of the plant, and this is how we get the agave pineapple. Usually one time every month we put into this oven between 20 and 25 like this.
Wow.
And
Oh, wow.
we cook it for 3 days. How we cook it? Do you know the pressure cooker?
Yes. Sí.
Well, let me introduce you the Mexican version of the pressure cooker. Why I call it like that? Because this giant oven works like a pressure cooker. So underneath, you see, we got a gas burner, the one we use to produce fire. Into the oven, in the ground, we got a big plate with little holes. So when we do this, we take the plate and we put it about 150 liters of water, and then we put a plate in the same place, and over the plate we put the agave pineapples. We fill it up, and then we close with the door, and then we use the fire to boil the water. This is how we produce the steam. When the fire temperature is about 100 degrees Celsius, the water starts evaporating and the steam passes through the little holes, and the steam converts the agave starch in agave sugar. This is the reason why after 3 days, this part of the plant get a flavor like a sweet yam, like a sweet potato. You can eat it. My family love eat this. Me, I prefer in the bottle, not like that. But you know, I have to respect the decision of each person.
Yeah.
So after cook it, this part of the agave is ready to be fermented. How we ferment it? Let me show you. Come this way. So this is the next step. This is the fermentation process. Through the fermentation process, we convert the agave sugar in alcohol. How we do that? First, we have to smash it by hand with this mortar, the sweet part of the plant. The one I told you is like a sweet gem, like a sweet potato. After smash it, we get the gabazo. Gabazo is how we call it, the agave fiber with the agave juice. The gabazo is introduced into these plastic barrels. We mix with water, just water, and we keep it in the barrels for a few days. How long? Usually, the time of the fermentation depends on the weather. When it's a hot temperature, we can do this in 10 days. When it's cooler, we have to ferment longer. Why? When we do the fermentation, we don't put in the ferment something like a sugar cane to accelerate the process like the big companies. We ferment natural with the natural yeast in the environment. So the yeast in the environment survive better when it's a hot temperature and survive less when it's a cold temperature. This is the reason why the time depends. The elevation is not important. The most important is the weather, the climate.
And do you have it closed during this time with the lid?
No. When we keep the ferment in the barrel, we keep the barrel open.
Oh.
Because we need the yeast.
Yeah.
So the yeast, through the air, come to the ferment to eat the agave sugar. And then the yeast, for example, metabolizes the yeast and then expel the alcohol. This is the real process of the fermentation. We can do this with sugarcane, why not? But the sugarcane is a big mistake to ferment.
Yeah.
Why? With sugarcane, the tequila tastes different and the effect is totally different. You feel a horrible headache the next morning, and the next day when you get drunk with the tequila the last night. So it's not necessary. It's just for, you know, when the tequila, when the people produce massively, but not for when the production is small. My family don't care the quantity, they care the quality, because they don't do tequila to sell in Costco or Walmart or US or Canada. They do tequila just to sell in this place when the people come to the business. So let me show you how many pineapples we need to produce about 100 and 120 liters of ferment. When the pineapple has a size like this, normally from 2 like this, we can produce about 100 and 120 liters of ferment.
Wow.
So when the ferment is ready to be distilled, we have to transfer to the next step because we have to put it into this distiller, the one we used to make the last step, the distillation process. So how we do this? We take the barrel with the ferment, we put it right here, and then we have to put it into this distiller. How we put it in there? In this part, inside we got a big copper container. That's where we put the 100 or 120 liters of ferment. How we open the distiller? Very simple. This part is separated from this. So we put 100 liters. How we put it in there? First we introduce the fiber, and then we put the rest of the liquid. And then we close the distiller, and then we use the gas burner to produce fire, and this is how we boil the ferment. We have to wait about 3 or 4 hours to evaporate, to boil 100 liters of ferment. When the ferment starts evaporating, the steam coming up, the steam pass through this part. Inside, we have like a copper coil. The copper coil is connected to this little faucet.
Yeah.
To condense the steam, in this part, around to the copper coil, we got cold water. This is how we condense the steam. The steam becomes liquid, and the liquid continues through the copper coil to the bottle. This is how we produce the first 150 liters. But the first 150 liters are not considered tequila. We have to repeat the same thing. We have to do a second distill to get the real tequila, because in the first distill we produce 2 different types of alcohols. We produce pure alcohols and impure alcohols. And the people don't want impure alcohols.
No.
So we have to separate. How we separate? The first distill, the next day we put it back. But before putting into the copper container, we have to remove the fiber. We clean the copper container, and then we put the first distill, we close the distiller, we repeat the same thing, but this time we use a specific fire temperature. We have to use a fire temperature about 74.5 degrees Celsius just to evaporate the pure alcohols.
Wow.
No worries about the impure alcohols. The impure alcohols stay in the copper container when we do the second distill. So what is the tequila? Only the next 70 or 90 liters and the second distill.
Okay.
These little densimeters right here, we used to know how much impure alcohols and how much pure alcohols we get in the first distill. So after that we get the tequila blanco. Do you know that?
Yes, sí.
Tequila blanco is a tequila that one has a clear color. So tequila blanco is not aged in the barrels like the amber tequilas or dark tequilas. It's after the second distill to the bottle. But when my family want to change the color and the flavor of the white tequila, they don't put it in the bottle, they put it in the old barrel like this one. So when they keep it in the barrel for about 10 months, they call it reposado. When they keep it for about 2 years, they call it añejo. The people ask me, how tastes each tequila? Well, blanco, because it's not aged, has the agave flavor. How tastes the agave? I think because remember, each palate is different. I think it's a little smoky and a little smooth and a little warm aftertaste. And the number 2 I consider much smoother. And the third one, the one we aged for about 2 years, I consider super smooth. Which is the best? The 3 are good.
Yeah.
Believe me. I think each tequila has a different function. Blanco, for example, I recommend you for mixing. Reposado I think is better for the shots. And añejo I consider just for sipping. Well, this is my opinion about the 3 tequilas. At the end, the best is the one you like, not the one I tell you, not the one the people tell you. So, señorita, you told me I can drink the tequila, so would you like to taste?
Yes.
Oh, and she's
Just a
too?
little.
Why not? Please, come to this side.
Okay.
Let me